that granny, she got hit by a bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the hookah. Kaboom, kablow, kaboom. I was in my room trying to teach my little sister. Then I heard a boom and it sounded like a missile. Who that is? What that was? Oh, that granny. Oh, she done.
All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakachak, double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders, GMS, shalom to you brothers pushing truth and sincerity across the four winds and earth. It is going to be super short. I'm entitled Jake or Fake. All right, you see the video in the intro, the little so-called looking white person, dancing and doing exactly what Jake does, man. And when I seen it, I was laughing because that's exactly what Jake does. Jake will get inside Walmart, go inside Walmart, fucking disrupt the peace, put your phone down, blast music, and then start dancing and uploading, man. But the man had rhythm, right? And we know. Let me put the phone do not disturb. Jake, is the salt. Let's actually get that. The salt of the earth, right? And we make the earth, right? Give the earth the flavor, man. Right? Earth. Right? This is Matthew 5 and verse 13. It says, ye are the salt of the earth. It says, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot. And let's see what this says. Hey, let's pull this up. Let's see what it says in the different versions. NLT, it says, you are the salt of the earth, but what good is the salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? It will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless. Right? And that's pretty much what it is, right? We are the salt. We give the earth the flavor, man. Right? If all Jake was to leave, if we was all to leave and go somewhere else, the whole earth would be like, well, what's going on, man? It would be, how would you say? It would be saltless, flavorless, pretty much, right? Because when you look at the athletes, when you look at music, when you look at just inventions, when you look at all these things, who does it come from? Right? It comes from Jake. And let me actually get this too. I haven't read this scripture in a while. A former of all things. Yep, Jeremiah 10 and 16. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Right? And that's what, like I was saying, when you go to inventions, we go all to other things, what happens is that the Esau, whitewashes and claims to be pretty much the former of all things. We invented a light bulb. We invented electricity. We built the world. We did all this. But when you start to go in history, you realize that a lot of these inventions that Esau claims that he's done has got a lot of the help from Jake, right? But we're just in your kingdom to where you can patent, you can erase certain parts of history, you can start doing certain things to where everything has to be accredited and to you. You see, and the people that actually had their hand in the labor the most, they don't get credited for it, right? You get all the credit. And let's see what this says. Let's get this in another translation. Let's see what it says. NLT, it says, but the God. Okay, no, that's off. Let's get the New King James Version. It says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the maker of all things, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. You see? And just like how, when you see a lot of inventions, especially nowadays that Jake is coming up with, it's getting insane, man. Just like that one, I did a video about him a while ago, but that one Jake that was turning plastic, or pretty much trash, but I think it was mainly plastic, right? He was turning plastic into oil that can be used for lawnmowers, cars, right? So on and so forth. So imagine us being under the curses, right? Under the curses, being in captivity. All the things that Jake can create, but imagine when Jake has, right, his full mental, spiritual power, full mental capacity. He's perfect and has unlimited everything that you need to invent. How much more of the technology in the kingdom, right? And Jake is coming up. I did a video definitely a while back about that one dude that was creating water just from the air. He had a machine that converted pretty much the oxygen, right, into water, real drinkable water, right? And actually, here, let me get his name. Let me find out his name. I'm looking up on my iPad real quick because I actually now want to see, because that's also something that I've did a video about. I did that a while ago. A dude that converted air into water and all that stuff. Like, that's just understanding the elements and so on and so forth. But man, like I said, how much more in the kingdom? Here he is, right here. Moses' name is Moses. Here, let's pull him up. Right, Moses West. Right here. Moses West is an American engineer who invented the atmospheric water generator, which uses condensation in the air to generate clean water for people whom water safety is an issue. You see, I did videos about him too, and that's Jake, man. That is crazy to think about that, but that's just, understanding a lot of things, using condensation from the air, right, to make water. But to get back on topic with that dude, I know we kind of went off, but Jake is gonna come looking like pretty much everything is what it was I wanted to say, but the Spirit had me bring it up, so we go through the Spirit, right? And so Jake is not gonna look like what the Elder Apostle Gabar, what does he say? He said Wesley Snipes, or so somebody that he said John Shaft. Yeah, he said every Israelite's not gonna look like John Shaft. Right? I'm pretty sure that he says John Shaft. Right? So you have to understand, and I'm not saying just because he can dance, he is Jake, but there's a possibility, man. Because Esau, when you watch Esau, now obviously there's some Edomites that can dance. We know that. Just like how there's a lot of Koreans and so on and so forth that can dance, so on and so forth. But however, you gotta understand that a lot of these people go back to our people. That's why you see a lot of so-called white people being with Jake a lot. Is because really you look like that, but you resonate with them because that's who you are, right? You resonate with your people, and just like how he was dancing, that was I don't know who that artist was, but that was Jake, more than likely, right? And he was there. He does, and when you watch the videos of Jake when they go in the store, they exactly what they do: put the phone down, stand in the middle of an aisle somewhere and dance. And he was on beat. And you go to his page, that's all he posts. He posts dancing, right? He can flow, right? But just how much more, in the kingdom, the things that in technology that we're going to have is going to be insane, man. It's going to be the kingdom, and that's why I'm about to do another lesson, Lord willing, after about the things that we're fighting for is like we're fighting for, and then getting ready to put up a big fight for. Is something that you have to really believe and fully understand what you're involved in, because the kingdom is not about to be like anything that the earth has ever seen before. Like everybody that we literally read about, we know a lot of them are in the spiritual realm, but they're going to be here on earth, and we're all going to know who each other are again. It's going to be a big family reunion, right? It's going to be a huge family reunion amongst the elect, because the elect was those angels back then helping Yahushua create everything. So those spirits are down here on the earth, and obviously there's some in the spiritual realm, right? But all those spirits are getting ready to be linked back up again, right? and gathered into the marriage of the Lamb. You see, all those things is getting ready to happen again. And when you understand that, it's like the little things that we have to go through now, even though it's going to get a lot worse, it's well worth it, man. Because imagine if you were one of them spirits that was back then, you're going to be, oh, my, that's him, oh, that's it. You know, you're going to know. You're going to know those things in those days. And it's like, man. And then eventually, obviously, all the Israelites are going to be back on one accord. We're all going to be one in the kingdom. But it's just like now, you know, and it's just, it's so much, you know, to this truth that, you know, you're always learning, you know, every day in this thing. Right. And we're trying to get, like the elder Yashwama said, we're trying to get back to that first estate. You see just how the Yahushai, right, to get back to, you know, his first estate, he had to come down on earth. You see, and the servant is not greater than the master. He's the master. So we have to follow in like manner. Right? We have to go through our trials. We have to go through our earthly battles. Right? He did, you know, his walk, and now he's going to come and finish it when he takes down this kingdom, you know, restores, you know, his people. Right? And obviously it starts off with the elect. It starts off with those angels that was with him from the beginning. Right? But that's pretty much it. I'm going to save that for the next video. But I just want to, you know, I turned this, it wasn't really meant to be that long. But like I said, we go through the spirit. Right? But I just wanted to touch on that. Is it Jake or fake? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the video. All right. So that's it. Shalom.